Appreciate everyone joining us.
This is a big-time public speaker right here. He's fired up. Attacking like some of them deep balls.
Yes, that's right. Got head coach Colby Carthel, senior wide receiver Kylon Harris, and senior quarterback Charles Demmings. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, then we'll get to questions for the student athletes. Once that's finished, they will dismiss, and then we'll have questions for Coach Carthel. Coach?
What a fantastic football game. What a beautiful day in East Texas. Sun always shines on the Lumberjacks, and it was shining on them today. But just a tremendous day for this program, for these players, and a great win for just SFA and Nacogdoches, everybody. And they were all here. What a crowd. And that was we felt the buzz all week. People talking about it, and they showed up, and they were loud, and it made a huge difference. The students, the Lumberjack marching band, all the alums, and just the townsfolk. I mean, that was an electric. Homer Bryce was rocking, which we needed that, and it turned out to be. We knew it would be. 2 championship programs. I think I've got I've got an unbelievable amount of respect for Abilene Christian, that football program. Coach Keith Patterson is a good friend of mine. Nick Holt is a great friend of mine. His wife's in our Hall of Fame. She's unbelievable. And that's a well coached football team that's a back-to-back UAC champion. And this ended up turning into an absolute prize fight, which we thought it would be. We didn't know if it'd be 13-10 or I don't even know what the score was. 41-34. It was just a prize fight. And when the final bell rung, these guys right here were on top, and I love these guys. I love what they're about. I love why they play, and they play for man up above, and they play for each other. And every one of these guys, these 2 in particular, turned down hundreds of thousands of dollars to stay here and finish their career and get their degree and finish as Lumberjacks. And this day is just another reason why. And so I'm tickled to death. It validates what we've got in our locker room. As we always say, we got the worst locker room in college football, but the best people in it. And I say that in a positive way because we've got incredible culture, incredible kids, and that showed tonight or today. And so my hats off to them. Hats off to Abilene Christian on a great game and a great season. And that's I know I've been on the other side of that, but it's 2 great teams, and only one gets to advance. And I'm happy it's the Lumberjacks. So the Axum Jacks.
Questions for Kylon and Charles?
So, first of all, Kylon, 183 yards, a touchdown, 11 catches. So what was the key to your success? How were you able to do what you did tonight?
Just trusting the game plan, trusting what the coaches prepared for me to do. I feel like I was an important piece to the game plan, and I knew I had to win my one-on-one, and that's why I went out and did. So.
Take me through that touchdown catch. What were you saying? How determined were you not to let that slip?
It's just I feel like it's muscle memory. I work on that. I work on catches like that. I work hard for those opportunities. So when it comes, it's not anything new. So.
Charles had a heck of a catch on the defensive side for the interception that came at a key time. What were you seeing on that
Travis
play?
Hunter. We made both ways.
Yeah, man. Earlier in the game, after we Michael Patterson, who just got carted off the field, it took me a drive to get out that emotional state. That kind of took a toll on me. But during that, they ran a stop and go, and they was able to convert on that. And so, football law happened once, they bound to come back to it. And, in that crucial part of the game, Coach Trice pulled me to the side and like, are we able to count on you right here, man, to go out there and do what you need to do, And I told him, yes, sir, you are, and that right there took me into a zone of my own, and I just prayed right there on the sideline before going in. And honestly, I tell you the truth, that came out there one detached. I thought he was finna run the sluggo, but he ended up running the stop and go too. And all I seen was the ball in there, and I had to go get it, man. I wasn't a DB no more. I turned to the receiver, man, in my mind.
I got one more for right now. Like how different, if at all, was it adjusting to 1 p.m. game versus later on, and like you've been used to for most of the season?
I feel like the only difference was just waking up earlier. It's the same process. It's just waking up a couple hours earlier, but we do that every single morning, so it's nothing new.
Yeah, man, tell you the truth, man, it was a good challenge to me. I never woke up this early to prepare for a football game, man. And I think most of our team hasn't either. And so, seeing seeing these guys come to the meeting still locked in and engaged early that morning and still preparing themselves for pregame just as if it was 6 o'clock, man, and going out and attacking the game the right way, man. I think it was something new for all of us, but our approach remained the same, as if it were. We could play at 1, we could play at midnight. You know, our approach would be the same, man.
Yeah, and really this is for both of you guys. You know, the environment here today was one of the best I've seen since I've been here, I'm sure. Where does this rank for you guys?
No doubt.
Yeah, number one, man. It was a third down, I believe. I just hear the crowd surging, and I look over and see everybody off their feet. I can't even hear my safety giving me the call. I had to run up to him, and he's like, "Hey, what's something we couldn't get?" And we haven't had that energy around here in a long time, man. And it does more than just gives us an experience. It gives us something to play for, man. You know, God gives His grace for everyone to make it out to the game, and for them to come out there and support like that, I don't think they know what that does for us as players. You know, we love that, man. We feed off that. And continuing to have that, we will do big things for that crowd.
Charles and Kylon, Coach just mentioned it. You guys were two of the leaders of this team that chose to came back when y'all could have gone elsewhere. Can y'all just talk about that decision and why it makes days like today, getting this big playoff win at home, special to you guys?
Yeah, man. To me, I don't think of delays or detours. I just think of divine speed limits that God gives. And with His divine direction, I use prayer as my steering wheel through that whole process. And really, what was on my heart, it was we left something on the table last year. And it wouldn't be right with me, and it wouldn't sit right with me if I left these guys that we worked so hard for. I mean, this guy, he gave me the plan my red shirt freshman year, going to develop you. We're going to, and there's so many other plans that he got with all the guys across the team, man. And you just see it here play together. That we believe in each other, not just a coach believing in the player or a player believing in the coach, but us believing in the whole program and sticking together, man. And that's just again something I have to thank God for and His allowance just to be here with these guys.
With this team, like you said, we left a whole bunch, losing by in total 17 points last year.
21.
Yeah,
something like that.
Our model was 21 all season. So just knowing the group that we had a lot of guys returning. It was like I thought about it. We had the talks, but I knew where my heart belonged. I knew where I belong. I know I belong here. So I trusted my coaches. I trust every single one of my coaches to put us in the right position to win. So there was no doubt in my mind that I need to come back here.
Yeah, during the watch party, whenever y'all were originally seated as a 7th seed, and you get to who y'all going to be potentially playing, and I could hear pretty much everybody was wanting ACU, and you guys got the chance to beat them, and you're able to do that. So just talk about being able to, avenge that loss earlier in the season.
Yeah, man, it was definitely a taste, a sour taste in the back of our mouth, but something that played a part was Coach coming in after the game. This is your last game. Your season is over. Your career is over. And this is what it feels like to lose a playoff game. And we took that and we ran with it because that was a hurt feeling. And lucky for us, it wasn't a playoff game. It was a regular season game that we were able to build off of. And win 10 games in a row after that. And so just for us to see, we play them in the second round of the playoffs if they're able to beat Lamar, which they were, and for them to come back here, man, I can't tell you how every spirit in that locker room was just raging to play these guys, man, and the locked in and the focus that we had. And it wasn't even just about playing ACU again. It's always about us, and it's always about how will the Lumberjacks play. Only way we lose is if we beat ourselves. So this was giving us a chance to avenge. We're better than the team that they played last time. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about what are they doing. It was all about us. And we made a couple mistakes today, but we're able to capitalize on that and complement each other with great offense, great defense, and just in them big-time moments, we were able to make big-time plays. And, that's what this team is, counting on each other and going out there and getting the job done.
He hit every point.
Speak some more.
Pastor Chuck.
Kyle and Charles, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Keep being the blessings y'all are.
Yeah, Coach. First of all, we heard Charles talk about Michael Patterson going down. What's the stats of him?
Yeah, he got, bell rung really good. I mean, you saw how he came up and hit Stone Earl, and he's given everything he had on every play, which is what every one of those guys do. And just, I think got his head wrong a little bit, got jarred to the side, and I think knocked him silly. And I can't say enough about our training staff. They're unbelievable. Our medical team, they always have been. And, let's start with A.J. Van Valkenburg, who I got here, this program wasn't in great shape pretty much anywhere, but our athletic training has been world-class since day one, and that still rings true today. And they did a really good job, obviously safety first, and boarded him up. You saw him, I said, you're fixing to hear a crowd, Mike B, when you leave out of here. And but everything's good. They radioed back, got him there, got a CT scan, everything's clear. Moving all extremities, everything looks, I hope it didn't break HIPAA rules or whatever that is, but it's all good on that end.
Good deal. So, but yeah, several lead changes, 6 or 7 lead changes or something?
There was a bunch.
There's a bunch, yes. What are you telling your guys at that point, just as far as when you're exchanging punches?
Well, just, that it is a prize fight, and we knew that. There's no more easy games on the schedule. You're in the second round of the NCAA playoffs, and so, just to keep punching, and Lombardi used to get his guys to hit the ground. Is it this play? You never know what play it's going to be that changes a game like that. And this one, there was probably, everybody says 3 or 4 plays. This game, there was probably about 12 or 15. But, we made a few of them down the stretch and to pull away and put it away. But they did too. I mean, I recruited Stone Earl a couple times. I told him that I named my son after him. My youngest son is named Stone. I didn't really name him after Stone Earl, but I told him that, tried to recruit him a couple times. The guy is a warrior, and he's a great human being. He comes from a great family, and that guy's, I call him Johnny Football of FCS. I mean, he is a problem, and he is tough to defend, and that whole team, they've got 27, 28 seniors. They've got a great football team, and that's what it was. I mean, just one after another, and we were fortunate enough there at the end to make a few plays to get a stop and put the thing away. And so hats off to the Lumberjacks.
From a crowd standpoint, where does this tonight rank from your time here at SFA?
Unbelievable, by far and away. I mean, there might have been a game or two we had more people. Never the atmosphere. That's what it's supposed to be like. And we got a lot of big plans here at this university, and these guys right here are investing, and our boosters and donors are investing, and I mean, things are fixing to turn. I talked after the Lamar game how hard this job is, how hard it's never been harder to win here, and that's still the case. But the worm has turned, and there's some things happening here. The goat path, they finally put some stairs in there on our old muddy goat path. That was finished right before the Sul Ross game. Not lost since. Okay, when you invest in football, good things happen, and that's just the start. And so this atmosphere is unbelievable. Mark my words, y'all will save this video. In about 4 years, this place is going to be unreal. One of the coolest venues to play in all of college football, and we've already got the people. We're going to build it, and they will come. But hats off to this crowd, because it was, both sides was unbelievable. So appreciate everybody that showed up and helped us. This victory was because of everybody that's in those stands.
Yeah, Coach, and Kylon Harris just had an unbelievable game. Seems like he does it every week, but especially on this level, on this stage, in the playoffs, win or go home, for him to have the game that he did. Just talk about Kylon.
He's special, and we've all the NFL scouts. I mean, we've had close to 90 NFL scouts through here now because of these guys, and I tell them all the time, Xavier was a little bit more, but this guy's got better ball skills and hands than Xavier Gibson did, and that's a 3-year pro, and he's just such a gem to coach, and that big old smile, and I mean, he doesn't like public speaking, but he sure likes catching touchdowns and making big plays happen, and we knew what they were going to do. I mean, it's hard to play a team twice, but they had made some changes defensively, and we knew our offensive game plan, we had to apply pressure to pressure. And we did. And Sam stepped up. Sam wasn't really healthy when we played him week 2. He'd got hurt against Houston, and, this was a healthy Sam. And you saw him drop dime after dime after dime and applied pressure to pressure and really 502 yards of offense and whatever it was, 41 points. So that was impressive. But that catch he made in the end zone, that was all coaching. Okay, that was all Coach Carthel. I had taught him that, and that's all me. Wow, what a play! What a play!
Do you demonstrate that to him during practice?
Yeah. Woo. I just say, you're the man. I'm glad we recruited you, because no one did. No one recruited that kid, and we went all the way, nearly to New Orleans to get him. And, he's had a chip on his shoulder every time he played a Louisiana school, and he's still proving all the doubters wrong. And he's a special one.
Yeah, you talked about Sam. Obviously, last time he played, like you said, wasn't fully healthy. Now that he was, I think it was 357, 3 touchdowns. Like you said, striking darts left and right. Just, getting to see him on this stage as well. So let's talk about him.
Yeah, he was motivated because he knows. he's a competitor, and he didn't. That one's been, none of the guys, it wasn't revenge. I had so many people text me, put the scoreboard on during practice. That wasn't it. It wasn't about that. That loss made this team. You heard Charles talk about that locker room and what that locker room was. And that locker room and that experience going out there and not playing our best, all right? These are 2 good teams. That day, ACU was better. Today, we were better, and we could play again tomorrow, and it may go the other way. But the feeling and the lessons that were learned in that locker room, paid dividends here. And so, but with Sam, he's a competitor. He's a stone cold killer. And he wanted this one, just to kind of right or wrong. And he was able to do that. And so I was fired up for him because he's done a lot with this program. And you talk about a guy that could have gone cashed in. You look at what their quarterback did last year and UIW's quarterback last year, those guys went and got paid. But our guy is going the 3rd round of the playoffs as a conference champion, and he's a legend. And so, that's where culture in this locker room is a little different.
Hey, Coach, you talked about the preparation a little bit, and this wasn't a revenge game. But how does the impact of playing somebody earlier in the season kind of change your preparation? Do you look more for tricks that you throw in? Or?
It is a great question, and what we changed what we did, and it sort of worked, sort of didn't. We gave up 211 yards rushing. Oh, that doesn't sit well with our defense, but we were doing some different things. We wanted to take 7 out of the game, and what a player he is. We limited him to 72 yards, but you look at what he's done the last 3 games. We said we're not going to let 7 beat us. And so we played a lot more too high and did some things differently and gave up a little bit on the run, so changed that. And then obviously offensively had a different game plan too. So it is it's tough to beat a team twice. And, 2 good teams, like I said, we could play again tomorrow and that thing could go the other way. But it was, the preparation, the bye week was big, for us to get a little healthier. Everybody's beat up, and they are and we are. But, we got a little bit healthier and a little bit fresher, and I think that might have helped. And that's where those 10 wins in a row, those things paid dividends. And so, hats off to our guys for earning that number 7 seed, and they showed they deserved it here out there today. And so that helped also with this game, I think.
Appreciate it.
Coach, I was just going to ask you, the FCS playoffs, I think North Dakota State lost today. There were some upsets, and at this point with just like 3 games to go, is that kind of the
There's 1 game to go.
Or just, next week. But, just seeing some of these top teams go down, do you feel like it really, at this point, it's just like, there is no ranking. It's just whoever's playing the best ball that day.
Oh, there's not. And we talked about that a lot. Going into this game, kind of when the seeds came out, there's 24 teams that start. And I've always been very honest with the team. I told them when we started the conference play, Southland Conference is tough. Good football played in that league. I said anybody can beat anybody on any given Saturday. And it's going to be really hard for anybody to go through unscathed. But I said there's one team I think that has the talent to do it, and it's in this room. But you better be ready week in, week out. And they were able to put that, and it came to fruition. as we started this and had a team meeting after the selection show, I said, guys, there's 24 teams. Honestly, there's about 5 or 6 that I think has the talent to win the whole thing. And I think we're one of them, but that gives you nothing. I said, all you have to do is understand you are playing for a national championship on December 6th against Abilene Christian right here at home. And that was our focus. That was a national championship that we just won. Because just like, and referred it back to, we won the Southland Conference Championship against who? Here at this stadium. Who was it? No, it's McNeese on September 27th. Okay, and then it was nickel, and so just kind of playing on that. That's the only focus. At 1 o'clock, 1:02 on Saturday, we need to be better than the Abilene Christian Wildcats. And you do that, you win a national championship. And so, as that game went on, they radioed down to me that North Dakota State did fall. Well, that's a big lick. That opens up, everybody. The 8 teams that are left, I promise you, all 8 teams are like, hey, they're not in it anymore, because that's a juggernaut of a program. And so the way I understand the other scores that I heard, whoever wins this next game hosts the next round. So we talked about that on the sideline right there in the fourth quarter. I'm like, hey, the national champ, you got 15 more minutes. Let's go get it. And they did, and so I'm just happy for them, man. We got some great kids. Y'all know it. Y'all are around them. You're at practice. This is what coaching's about. Not about the win, but just to see these kids and the validation that guys that do things right. It's good to see that in the world. Guys that do things right and see good things happen to good people, and happy for our guys. Happy for our program. Happy for our coaches. Didn't shout them out, but those guys worked and have worked and did a tremendous job there. And so it's a player's game, but we got a great staff and administration, and they did a great job putting us in this situation. So it's a fun day in Nacogdoches.
Speak about East Texas tough, and for your defense, a little bit of a tough day with a great offense. Mm-hmm. Speak to your defense's toughness those last 2 drives. Come away with a takeaway, and come over with a turnover on downs to wrap this up.
It's East Texas tough is just the overall program, and we made that change about 3 years ago, and we weren't going in the right direction and trying to be something we weren't. We're not fancy. We're not big time. We're red dirt mindset. You'll stick a spade in the ground out here and turn it over. It's a bunch of red dirt. And that's what, there's another story on that red dirt mindset. Old Hall of Fame coach in DFW, one time was asked, why do all the teams in East Texas win state championships in football? It always seems like people east I-35. He's like, it's that red dirt. He says, all them kids out there in Longview and Lufkin and Tenaha and you name it. And there's red dirt everywhere. And those little kids, they go to elementary school. They got their Spider-Man lunch pail, Incredible Hulk, and run around. They go to lunch and open that thing up. There's red dirt all in. They get the sandwich. It's red dirt. They just eat that red dirt. It makes them tough. And that's what we got to have here. We got to have calloused hands, not pretty hands. And we do all our off-season right back here behind you in these woods. I mean, we're out there with weights and barbells and plates, and that's the overall, program mindset. East Texas tough, but now even more specifically into our defense, we got one stand. We're unbreakable, and Coach Moots talks about it all the time. Be unbreakable. It doesn't matter. Put the ball down. We're unbreakable, and we got gashed. It's gonna be some tough film, because we don't like giving up rushing yards, and but they never. There was never any of this, and it was just next play. And they were unbreakable tonight. They made the stops they needed to, and it's a great team. It's team football, and we've talked about that all week. Just offense, defense, special teams. We'll look at it tomorrow and put together some of those sequences where, all right, offense did this, and defense came back, or offense came back. You just put it together, and that's what a great team is. And so we've got some really talented players that have the right mindset, and they're playing for each other, and it's fun to see. Special.
Coach, appreciate you joining us. Best of luck next week.
Thank you. Excellent.
Thanks, Coach.